Most people never actually finish the games that they start. So even if you've got a strong intro, you need an opening act that just keeps up that momentum. However, you can't spend all your chips at once. You've got to lay the foundation and entice the player with the promise for more. Now we've got that promise of adventure from the intro. We'll see how the game delivers in World 1. And here comes the big guy, Luma. So this is the world map. Just point at your destination and press A to jump into that galaxy. Like I said, this spaceship runs on energy from power stars. Right now, it looks like we've got enough power to go this far. We're gonna need more power stars. So let's do it. For your princess and my crew. Take it away, Captain. So this is the World 1 map. Not too complicated at this point, so before we keep moving forward, let's go back to Sky Station Galaxy and nab that second star. And I love how the spaceship keeps watching us as we launch back into our adventure. You know, it's really giving
Squidward's house.
Now, if you guys really knew me, the Malmadius, you'd know that my favorite thing in media is a show don't tell mentality. We see the level title, Storming the Sky Fleet, and we immediately understand based on the opening cutscene what the Star Fleet is. This is supposedly one of the scouts of Bowser's Armada maintaining order at the edge of his galactic empire. And we know we've got to be the one to storm it and take back the Power Star. We land on Yoshi's house again, the only difference being these little chain chomps rolling around. They can be destroyed with these punching bag things with a well-timed spin. Anyway, let's keep going underneath.
Get me out of here! There must be a key somewhere.
Now we've got a lot of chain chomps and chests that can all be opened or destroyed. The chests are obviously easier to break than the moving chain chomps, but you can get the hang of it pretty quick. And you might think that the key's position is random, but no, the key's always with this particular chain chomp. You'd think it would be the last one you open, but no, it's always with this guy. There are other goodies like some star bits, a 1-up, and an invincibility star if breaking those moving chain chomps is too difficult for you.
Oh, thank you. Now I can transform into a launch star. Just hop in and shake to go flying.
Now I love the fact that Bowser's fleet is also keeping the Lumas hostage. These guys clearly have a lot of dormant power we don't fully understand. I mean, these guys have been seen to manipulate the universe as they see fit, which is exactly what Bowser said he was gonna do in the opening. So why wouldn't he keep them all hostage? Or, wait a second. This is Yoshi's house. So did Yoshi capture this Luma? We land on the fleet and we hear someone yelling out,
"In here!"
It looks like there's a launch star inside of the Skyfleet base. There's these massive bonsai bills firing on all sides, and in the distance, we see a light illuminating from the entrance into the Skyfleet. You jump inside and it transitions into 2D platforming. Okay, let's grab this 1-up real quick. Anyway, we make our way through this quick platforming section to get to the launch star. But instead of jumping immediately into the launch star, we can go up and get this other 1-up. At this point, the game has not officially taught you how to crouch yet, so in trying to get this 1-up, you might just figure it out yourself. And if we keep riding this elevator up, we see another battle arena. This one is just as simple as the first one with an invincibility star to help fight these guys. Anyway, let's keep going to this intermediate area with these question pressure tiles. We just have to flip them all to be exclamation points so we can progress. But of course, if we step on them twice, they'll just turn right back. It's minimally difficult with this bonsai bill firing here, but honestly nothing to worry about, and we unlock the next area. And just for fun, we can get up to this platform with a wall jump spin. This next platform is more difficult with the introduction of the cosmic clones. Now, these guys were in the original Mario Galaxy as a kind of time trial race against Mario, but in this game, they will continue following him around, mimicking his exact movements. And if you stay in one place for too long, they will ram into Mario and hurt him. And believe me, these guys get way worse in later levels. And just because of that trauma, I've always hated their stupid laugh. It's almost like a troubled child or something like that. Anyway, this next section is pretty easy. You're literally just making your way up the stairs until the next launch star. Now we get to the rest of the space fleet. But before we continue, I just can't get over how much I love the look of the skyboxes in this game. If you've compared the skybox to the start of the level, it was much more subdued in terms of the space theme. But now we're at the climax of the level, and there's this beautiful haziness of the light that does so much to emphasize your progression through the level, which really just goes to show the props in terms of the direction in this game. Even something like the camera angle when we land was so beautifully crafted. Anyway, we get to the Power Star, but it's locked up. The only way to go now is to follow the path of this bonsai bill until we get to these massive piranha plants. I like this type of continuity between the first level and the second, in which the final boss are these plant creatures. In the first level, we fought Pee-wee Piranha, who in my headcanon is kind of like the royal prince of the plant creatures that Bowser has allied himself with. Think of like Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. And then we see this massive guy who looks more like an admiral or general or something like that, leading the rest of the normal piranha plans. Big missed opportunity to have him as a skin for Smash Bros. All we have to do is taunt him into attacking. Oh, look at this guy, just salivating at the thought of smashing his prey. And then we just hit him with this punching bag plant, and that's it, he's defeated. Pick up the key to unlock the star and make our way to the exit. Nice and easy. Okay, just ignore that. As I said, we make our way to the exit nice and easy. And there we go, a second star down. Lubba's just out here talking about using co-star mode if we wanted any help. We get to use one of the co-star Lumas to assist us. And based on how he looks, it's probably this guy that we've already seen on the spaceship. I mean, the co-star Luma does help a little bit, and I loved letting my little siblings play with me back when we would all play this on the Wii. It's a harmless inclusion. They'll freeze enemies in place and do basic little things without actually playing. Anyway, let's make our way to the next galaxy, Yoshi Star Galaxy. Saddle up with Yoshi. All we see in this intro is Kamek blocking a Yoshi egg with some type of force field. We fly in and land on the galaxy and we see this beautiful prehistoric environment with a volcano in the distance and these massive bones and Koopa skulls in the foreground. And oh my god, the music in this level is just incredible. This is the song I think of when I think of Mario Galaxy music. Oh man! You can even see me dancing along with my controller on the screen. This first part is pretty simple, just make our way to the end of the platform.
I thought Yoshi would be more helpful getting the star, but he just kept running around in circles. Then he got himself trapped inside that egg. If you can get him out and keep him focused, he might be useful.
Hey, thank you so much, my guy. Here's a quick treat for you. We go to the platform and we see Kamek the wizard blocking our way.
Yeah, town, wizard man!
Yeah, nobody wants you here.
He fires these magic projectiles which manifest Goombos into existence. And we just have to stomp on him to release that Yoshi from the barrier. Yoshi hatched from the egg! You saved me. I was trying to save my friends, but then I got turned into an egg and trapped. Hey, I know, we should team up. Come on, hop on my back. Yoshi, the new biggest addition to this game. And believe me, he's gonna be really useful for us. But for now, let's just acknowledge how he expands our moveset. First of all, our reticle is no longer the shining stars and is now a red circle. And that's because we can't fire our star bits while riding Yoshi. Instead, we shoot out his tongue to swallow things. There's a little question block that's a little out of our reach, and we notice if we press and hold the jump button, Yoshi will do a little flutter for extra height. He also doesn't get caught up in mud in the same way Mario will, making this area way easier to navigate. There's a sign on the edge here that tells us we can change our camera, and if we do, we see this secret one up. As we get used to this tongue mechanic, we realize we can fire multiple tongue shots at once if the objects are close together. Kind of like a dead shot in Red Dead Redemption or from Sly 4. This comet medal is pretty out in the open. All you need to do is jump onto this platform to reach it. Anyway, we make our way forward, and I love the way the game introduces us to this flying pig enemy. Obviously, it has the visual pun of when pigs fly, but even mechanically, it's placed right next to a bunch of these melons that we've been eating. As we rapid-fire swallow the melons, we might try to swallow the pig too, and in doing so, it just continuously kisses Yoshi until he forces them off with a shake, which finally defeats him. This next battle arena is pretty simple, especially with Yoshi. He just eats the Otumbas with his tongue. Just don't get hit because it'll take forever to get back up and saddle on Yoshi. There's a golden melon here you have to grab and pull back in order to swallow. This reveals the launch star. We fly, and this is the image many people associate with Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's in the trailers and the marketing, this beautiful shot of him flying with Yoshi, while the volcano erupts in the background, filled with star bits. This next planet is just a matter of finding the launch star before landing on this very tall one. I like this planet because it has a lot of platforming verticality and a lot of interesting things you can eat if you haven't tried to do so already, like the spine balls or these piranha plants. And for an extra challenge, you can jump off of Yoshi and scale the mountain yourself. When we get to the top, we're introduced to these swings we can use Yoshi to swing on to get even higher. Now here's the last area of the galaxy, which is designed as an archaeologic digging site to reinforce that prehistoric theme even more. As we scale the archaeological site, you can see these things in the wall, like fossilized shells and dried up fish bones. Once we make it to the top, we can free the star from the crystal, and we're greeted with this special Yoshi animation. We get back to Spaceship Mario, and because we've completed the star from that galaxy, Starship Mario can now advance. Say, I don't mean to pry or anything, but what's that thing over there? I mean, be straight with me, pal. You hatching alien eggs now? Okay, let's quickly see what Mr. Lubba Lubba is talking about. If we make our way onto Spaceship Mario's nose, we see this Yoshi egg and a whole bunch of flower swings. We can make our way up to these swings and land on a platform with 10 Yoshi fruit. If you eat them all, you get a 1-up. There's a few signs up here that talk about Yoshi's moveset in more depth, including his flutter jump, the way we can mount Yoshi with only a spin, and how to dismount off of him with a backflip. And we'll get more practice with this later on, so for now, let's just get the next star. Spiny Control. Here we go again. This time we see a lot of spiny turtles and a Lakitu floating in the distance. We notice that we can actually eat the spiny turtles as Yoshi and use them as projectiles when we spit them back out. This will help us break all these cages around. Here's another battle arena. Interestingly, this arena is different than the others. It's on a spherical planet instead of a flat one. And we've got to defeat a bunch of Goombas. We need to destroy them before time is up, so take advantage of Yoshi and be careful you don't get knocked off, because if you do, there's almost no time to get back on and finish the challenge. Anyway, we free the caged warp star and land on this planet with an elevated bony platform. Simple enough to free the Luma, the height is even marked by these red and blue ropes. But as we launch, there's another launch star en route to the next area. If we take that side path, we'll end up on this really cool moon with multiple satellites. There's a bunch of coins, extra life mushrooms, and a 1-up. But honestly, the best thing about this area is we get a cool place to practice all these different gravity mechanics all together. We keep going forward to this boss arena. It's a huge Lakitu with a bunch of spiny turtles, and we just have to deflect them back at him while avoiding his electricity attack. After hitting him twice, he'll get angry and throw them in even faster succession. Now, it's a bit more difficult to hit him based on how far away he goes, but we should be able to do it no problem. And just like that, there's another star in the books. Next on the map is this blue Luma holding 2 Starbit lollipops with the number 300 above it. And we can hail this Luma on board our ship to see what she wants. Looks like you found a hungry Luma. Hope you got a stack of Starbits, cause those guys can eat.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Got any tasty Starbits I can snack on? So hungry. Feed me delicious Starbits. I need to chow on 300. Then I'll transform.
Now, I don't remember if it was like this in the original, but on the Switch, you can just walk up to the Luma to automatically talk to her. I remember having memories on the Wii version where I would gather the exact amount of Starbits that I needed for these guys, and I would shoot 1 or 2 at them before activating its feeding mode. And because of that, it would just waste them. So then I'd have to go all the way back to the Bank Toad, who we'll talk more about later, in order to get back to the total. But in this Nintendo Switch version, you just have to approach the Luma and it activates her feeding mode. So good, Nintendo W. But anyway, let's all enjoy watching her chow down.
That's the stuff. Oh, so full. I think I'm about to transform!
A new galaxy was born. Flip Swap Galaxy. Think before you shake. We land on the galaxy and we see this bunny jumping and spinning. And when we get close to him, he just emphasizes jump, spin, make him flip. And if that wasn't enough, there's a nice hidden tutorial in the bottom right telling us to do just that. And while it's not subtle at all, including a crystal with trapped Starbits at the very start where most players will just automatically shake and see what happens is a stroke of genius. And it will go against a lot of the instincts players have built up to at this point, because we're so accustomed to shaking in order to correct a precision jump. However, doing that without thinking will easily cost you a life. Yeah, this is one of those bizarro worlds that doesn't really make sense and doesn't have like an atmosphere or things like that, but honestly, this is just pure gaming fun. So much so, in fact, that as a true gamer myself, I'm gonna do the whole thing without spinning. That way, I can make a YouTube short about it that's gonna go viral later. So you guys are gonna see me do it here first. So the no spin challenge starts now. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Ignore that. Ignore that. In fact, it doesn't actually count because I was already over the platform already. And honestly, I don't even know why I'm still justifying myself because I already know you guys are the real ones that are gonna back me up in the comments. I always love these Goombas trapped inside the crystals. Like even frozen solid, they still have that grumpy face on them. I also love the texture on that crystal, the way the light refracts and reflects through it. We keep making our way up and you can see the long jump is really handy for this type of thing. But funnily enough, the long jump is the one move that doesn't really have a tutorial about it, which is odd because of how much everything else is over-explained. So if this was your first Mario game, you would have no idea you could do this. Here we come up to an area with some chain chomps rolling on different pathways and we just nab the comet medal right here real quick. The timing here is a bit tight, but there's just a few more electrical fences blocking our path. So with a few more precise jumps, we make it through. And just like that, flip shake Galaxy without spinning. Shut up. We land in the garden on our way back from the planet. Starship Mario can advance even further. You brought back a star bunny? The one thing in the galaxy cuter than one of those? Nothing. That's what. Did I get you on that one? Well, it looks to me like that cute critter wants to tell you something. Yeah, we'll talk to him, but first, come on, big money, big money, big money. Yes! Shake when you're in mid-jump. Spinning will give you just a little more oomph. Yeah, I mean, just in case you needed it spelled out more clearly after that whole galaxy. But who knows, maybe I'm a little too cynical. What are your thoughts on this? You two get starbits. None for you. On to the next one. Spin Dig Galaxy, Dig-a-Leg's planet. We zoom in on a few planets of dirt and a drill that seems to be glowing. We pan to another sentient drill, going across the landscape. We land on this galaxy with a few towers of dirt and reinforced metal on it. And what I love about this planet is the ever-present theme of drilling and mining resources. If we look across the sky, you see the stars of space in those holes. But oddly enough, most of the sky is covered up by this seemingly solid object. And then you quickly realize this thing is covering the whole horizon. And with all this constant mining and terraforming and drill baby drill, it really makes it seem like this entire world has been hollowed out in what could have been never-ending, continuous mining operations. And we're actually playing on what remains of the planet's core. The hollowed-out planet even has its own atmosphere. We see clouds spinning counter to the actual orbit if you look closely. And even still, there's still more mining operations and drilling going on. And the piece de résistance. We gathered all of this information from just the first 10 seconds of the level. And that's why I love this game so much. You gotta spin drill. Shake or press Y to start drilling. This is the new big power-up for this level. A drill that will shoot Mario straight through any diggable material. Instead of being able to spin jump, Mario has to carry this giant drill above his head. And so he has to use his spin to charge up the drill in order to launch himself through the planets. Thankfully, there's noticeable craters on the planet indicating where it's optimal to use the drill, even though you can just theoretically use it anywhere. And we can use the drill to reach a 1-up, some coins, and then up the tower to progress even further. Ah! How did you get up here? Keep an eye out for other Lumas ahead. Try to find them too. We land on this flat platform with columns of dirt and these new enemies, the Twirl Lips. They spin around and attack, leaving a window of opportunity to attack them. And this is a deep cut, so bonus points if you get this reference, but they've always reminded me a lot of this robot enemy from another video game. Anyway, this puzzle's simple enough, and the comet medal is easy to get if you're paying attention. And from there, it's only a matter of riding down to get back to the next Luma. Whoa, where'd you come from? More Lumas are waiting for you up ahead. Here's a nice metallic platform with a black hole in the center. To the right is another battle arena filled with twirl lips, which is made really easy due to this invincibility star. And then if we go to the other side, there's a 1-up and another platform with the next Luma. This next area has the warp star in view, but it's just far enough away where we can't jump onto it. And it's like, I'm so close, man. But the way you actually get up is you need to drill into the planet, which is filled with coins, and then make our way to the top. Now we get the honor, nay, the privilege, to see the great Captain Toad and his own spaceship crew, the Toad Brigade. It even has a little theme song and everything. Gia! Oh, it's you. Mario, right? Like our new ship, it's called a Star Shroom. We're shoving off soon. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. I found this nifty headlamp, so I am now the Toad Brigade Captain. There's a pretty scary monster just past here. Be careful. Throughout the game, we'll intermittently meet other members of the Toad Brigade. There's the captain, who we've just met, who leads with no qualifications and is just a normal dude, cowardly and out of shape as you'd expect. The green toad likes money and minerals. The purple one likes mail. The yellow one is sleepy. And this nerd wears glasses. Makes you wonder how this random group of toads managed to build and pilot a whole spaceship, but whatever. The Toad Captain told us about a monster up ahead, and we can see who he's talking about in the distance. The star's titular Dig-a-Leg. And here we have one of the many Lumas that tend to appear before boss battles. I just love these guys. I love their energy so much. They have the best vibe. I mean, hey, just listen to this. Luma Lee, Luma Pop, welcome to the Luma shop. I can sell you something helpful for only 30 star bits. Nice. Anyway, let's get this star that seems to be powering the robot. He'll fire some of those drill enemies to try and attack you. Otherwise, he'll move around to stomp you, so you gotta be paying attention. When he's done drilling, he'll flip over to move around, and that's when we strike. In his attack phase, you can actually line yourself up perfectly with the robot. And if you time it right, just as the drill enemy is about to erupt from the surface, you can destroy the enemies that he fires at you with a well-timed drill. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we got it. And of course, the star lands in the most satisfying place. Oh, one of my little guys is back? I was wondering what happened to the little feller after he fell off. He built a ship to get back, huh? Well, that's my crew for you. Those guys are friends of yours, right? Well, if you ever want to visit that ship, you can get there with a warp pad. Oh, okay, so that's how the spaceship was made. That makes a lot more sense. Well, while we're here, we might as well go check it out. But hey, I'm feeling lucky first. Okay. There's a few toads here that we can talk to, and a 1-up that they always prepare. One of the toads actually name drops Luigi for the first time, and even mentions that the starship looks a lot like him because of how green it is. And I mean, when you're right, you're right. But I love this concept of Starship Mario, because it's almost like we're literally developing our own orbit of influence, which will of course grow further as we keep moving forward. Now, that being said, let's get this second star. Silver Stars Down Deep. This star has a similar introduction to the first one, except we get to see the silver stars that the title mentioned. And notably, when we land, there's this sign that yells out, "Careful!" If you stop to read it, it'll mention the cosmic clones, and sure enough, once we land, they show up. The other big difference we might notice is instead of the drill enemies, all of a sudden there's a lot of piranha plants. And more interestingly, there's no drill power-up to be found. But once we defeat each piranha plant, a vine starts growing that we can ride on to reach different areas in lieu of not having that drill to use. These vines launch us to different areas, but to progress, all we really need to do is break the crystal on the bottom of the planet to get launched to this piranha plant. We can use the vine it creates to swing onto this purple metal cage. This battle arena is the same as the last one, except there's no invincibility star. But simple enough as long as we time our bounces right. And down the pipe is this 2D section where we're introduced to the drill again. But this time we get an in-depth look on how the drill will dig through objects and bounce off of metal. Just to make it explicitly clear if we didn't notice when fighting the previous boss, this area will teach us this mechanic by enticing us with a coin that people will instinctively grab. And when you try, you'll notice that the drill will bounce off of the metal floor. And as we keep going, we'll notice we bounce off at different angles too. And I just listen guys to this sound design of the bouncing. Ooh, man, I love that. This next area is a straight path downwards, just dodging the electricity. You'll notice there's a drill on every level to make sure the player doesn't get soft locked, which is a nice touch. As we continue forward, we make it to the Nerd Toad and his blue star shroom. Four Eyes starts talking to us like,
Actually, according to my calculations, if you combine 5 silver stars, you get a full power star.
bruh. There's also our introduction to the sleeping toad at the bottom of the spaceship. And just like in other games, if Mario is standing idle for too long, he'll start to nod off and eventually completely lie down and sleep. Complete with cartoon Z's and everything. Although I do miss in other games when he would start talking in his sleep.
Spaghetti. Ravioli. Mamma mia.
This last area is interesting because it's a big rectangle with many different points of entry, and the gravity changes once we enter these different pockets. But to make things simple, every area of interest is marked on the surface with a dark mud patch, which helps us when we try to get our bearings. Anyway, let's try to gather all these silver stars. I love these excited little chirps they make when you try to grab them. It reminds me a lot of the little chirps my cat will make. And I love how they continue to follow us around and hover near us until we collect all 5 of them. But just like that, we've got another star. This time we land back in the engine room. Well, well, what do we have here? A spin drill, huh? That's for digging? Just don't go digging through the center of your spaceship. It might get a headache. The drill will continue to be displayed here in the engine room. And honestly, I was always annoyed you could never actually goof off and use these power-ups on Spaceship Mario. Even if only for like an Easter egg or a secret hidden away somewhere. Anyway, let's make our way up back to the helm. But just speaking of the engine room, you can actually see the nuclear reactor that charges up the spaceship when looking through these little windows, which is a really nice touch. Next is Rightside Down Galaxy, breaking the laws of gravity. Now, this opening montage is nothing special, but what I love about these weird gravity levels is the fact that we never actually explore the outside of the galaxy. It almost looks like a toy set in space with a yellow ship shroom and a gray garbage platform in the distance. And this aesthetic reminds me a lot of those English wooden building block toy sets. Mario just flies through the debris and lands directly on a warp pipe, which begins the level. We just have to make our way through the end of this gravity platforming section. Instead of going down straight away, we can go forward using this pair of Paragoombas as a bounce pad to get to a question mark block. I like this nerdy Toad Brigade member pondering this ground slam button and getting so excited when Mario slams on it. As if that took any thought whatsoever. Like, this guy has glasses, he's supposed to be smart, and he couldn't figure it out? Bruh. We make our way forward and run into this enemy with no discernible weak point whatsoever, with a spike on top. We can't even slam him. We then flip a switch that changes gravity, and if you notice now, his weak spot is exposed once we switch up the gravity like this. And that switch also opens up a trail of coins. However, if you noticed, there was a warp pipe on the ceiling to the left that we can go down. Or, I mean, I guess up. Now, in this pipe, there's a bunch of boxes and a fire flower power-up. And this power-up works similar to the invincibility star, in which it's on a timer, where you have until time runs out to shoot fireballs and break boxes. We open up a pipe that leads us to the garbage pile. One of these gearheads is here alone on the platform. Every time I see these guys, I imagine an old grandma with short hair where the gear is. You know? Anyway, she says,
This is the end of the road for all the trash in the universe. So many boxes. It's getting way too out of control if you ask me. Do me a favor and burn all these as fast as you can. What do you say?
Sure.
Alright, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, this challenge isn't so bad. We got 20 seconds to destroy these boxes, and I think the easiest thing is to just go to one end and fire straight across, because the fireballs will go through the boxes all the way to the end for you. If you fail, the gearhead will just encourage you to try again faster. It's a good thing you don't die, because I'm so used to dealing with that stupid monkey, but we'll talk about him later. We beat the challenge and we get this secret star. Alright, listen up, because I don't want to say this more than once. I think that Toad over there wants to talk to you. I guess there's some info about Amiibo for you. Pretty curious. No!
Look how they mess with my boy.
Oh my goodness, what did they do to him? This was my favorite character on Starship Mario. Nintendo, why? Why did you do this? For those of you who can't understand my, well, let's call it well-justified rage, let me try to explain. The bank toad used to hold all your starbits for you, acting as, well, as a bank. As you gave him more and more starbits, he would slowly upgrade to different phases. Starting from his base form, he used to get glasses, a spear and shield, a pickaxe, some goggles, and he eventually became a full-fledged captain himself. And on top of that, he used to give you some interest on the amount of starbits that you deposited in the bank, and the starbits that you deposited would also save across all your save files on the system, a fact that I didn't realize myself until my little sibling stole all of my starbits out of nowhere. And oh man, it was so satisfying to get him to that final 9,999 starbits total in the bank. He was just a fun and dynamic part of Starship Mario and helped make it feel more alive. And now he's just been replaced with some freak doppelganger toad trying to get bank in Nintendo's pockets through Amiibo. And I can't possibly quantify how much of a downgrade this was. So just to spite them, I'm not going to tap a single one of my Amiibo into this game out of pure principle and as a sign of a silent protest. You know, some might say I'm the hero we all truly deserve. Anyway, let's get back to it and beat this level like normal. So we'll just make our way back to where we were, and instead of going towards the pipe, we'll keep going forward and bounce through these different gravity fields. This part is just where we slowly introduce the gravity changing mechanic as it pertains to these 2D sections, allowing a lot more flexibility than in normal gameplay, at least in terms of the level design. So as we get used to this new type of gravity mechanic, it slowly starts to ramp up. They start throwing some chain chomps and thwomps in the way, and by using this thwomp right here, we can get into this nice secret area with a few starbits, or more importantly, we can grab this comet medal. As we continue, we unlock the fire flower and get one of my favorite sections of the level, where the perspective changes again and it turns into kind of like a 3D platformer just turned on its side. Now I love this dynamic switching between 2D and 3D and then back to 2D. But let's keep going, this next part is pretty simple. Yeah, like I was saying, this next part's pretty simple. All until we make our way to this last area with the star. And I spent way too long trying to get this stupid one up before grabbing the star. Interestingly, later on, all these colors are consistent throughout the entire game in terms of the gravity that they correspond with. Red going up, blue down, and green to the right. The only one that changes is this purple one going to the left, which is later replaced by white. I know that's a minor nitpick, it's just a shame it's one that 10-year-old me picked up right away. And once we get this star, we get our first galaxy completed notification, letting us know that we finished this galaxy 100%. Although we did get all the stars up until this point, the other galaxies will eventually have different challenges to unlock, but we'll get to those later. Now on to Fluffy Bluff Galaxy. Search for the Toad Brigade Captain. And this galaxy, oh man, this is one of my favorites. Just starting off, we can see this is another one of those beautiful environments, one I could just talk on and on about forever. First of all, the music is on another level, an incredible piece for Mario Galaxy, one that is instantly recognizable to this game. Very uplifting, setting the mood beautifully. But guys, check this out right here. As we're flying into the level, we see that all of these different planets are composed of columns. It's almost like the planet itself is made of multiple pillars of like a temple. And of course, the beautiful garden and the springs and water also serves to reinforce that idea. It almost reminds me of a Buddhist monastery with these ponds and a garden. I picture how monks and religious hermits that seclude themselves high in their altars, tending to nature and reflecting on the universe. And each part of the level is composed of different circle combinations. It's interesting because the circle is a common symbol among many faith traditions, reinforcing an idea of rebirth, cleansing oneself, of life in general, and our ability to be connected with each other, both living and dead. So it's no coincidence that in a temple such as this one, high above the clouds, where we're closest to the heavens, that we have a beautiful garden with flowers and trees, which themselves symbolize birth and rebirth with the changing seasons. And even more so, the main inhabitants of this area are these wood creatures called the Whittles, obviously referring to wood carvings. or moku in Japanese, apparently derived from a similar word to wood. But like I said, let me know if I'm wrong about that. The nerd tells us the captain has already found the power star and all we have to do is find him. We climb up this tree and collect a lot of coins. Naturally, I try my best to collect as many coins as I can, stomping on these bird enemies when I get the chance. Behind this large tree is a warp pipe that gives us a coin challenge. We're asked to collect as many coins as we can before time runs out, first in a square, then a circle, and then an even larger square shape. And if you're actually good at video games, you'd be able to collect them all, unlike me. It's outside in the garden that we're introduced to this cloud flower, and the best power-up in the game, Cloud Mario. By shaking, we can create up to 3 cloud platforms, and also gain the ability to step on normal clouds with no issue. We just have to make sure we don't touch the water or take damage to lose the power-up. Using the clouds, we can make our way up onto this large tree, where there's a warp star, which launches us even further into the clouds. And way up here, there's a Luma asking for 100 coins. If he eats 100, he says he'll be able to transform. And this is why I mentioned I prefer collecting coins whenever possible, just in case there's one of these special pink Hungry Lumas in the level. When the Hungry Lumas appear in the world map, you feed them star bits to unlock secret galaxies. However, when we're already in a galaxy, these special guys will always ask for coins. Maybe because they're more valuable in that they always reset to 0 when you die, unlike star bits. Anyways, we're not that far off, and thankfully there's another timed coin challenge right next to the Luma. Oh wow, that's a nice touch. A cute little mini applause for completing one of these mini games. But anyways, let's give this guy the coins and see what happens. A new planet was born. And of course, it's in this beautiful monastery environment with all of these subtle symbols of birth and rebirth that we find our first Luma that can transform into a separate subplanet within the galaxy. And what did we feed that Luma to entice this transformation? A coin, another circle. Come on, tell me this isn't the best game ever made. All of this subtly reinforcing that idea, even if you're not actively paying attention. Or maybe I'm just thinking way too deeply into this, which is also fair. But I did say at the start that I was going to say every thought that I had about this game, so you knew what you were getting yourself into when you clicked. Interestingly, every subplanet made from one of these Hungry Lumas will have this separate type of atmosphere and skybox. A calm, pink, almost dream-like twilight. It's a simple enough stone tower that we have to climb. There's a 1-up we can get pretty easily, and we can even go behind the tower on the ledge. But let's keep going, and let me just line myself up for the final ground pound. The final ground pound. Now while we have enough stars to advance, let's go get that last star from this world. Here we go again, grab the secret 1-up underneath the bridge, and let's keep moving forward where we left off. There's a pond on the main path forward, which most players will touch and realize that it takes away the cloud power-up. As we continue to scale the mountain, we'll see another one of those tutorial screens. The TV screen just shows us how to effectively clear gaps using the cloud power-up, but we don't even need those extra platforms if we just do a few long jumps. This next area has some cosmic clones to worry about, as well as collecting pieces of a launch star. With a well-positioned long jump, we can grab this comet medal no problem, and then we'll just put the pieces of the launch star back together. We keep going up to the final part of this area where we get to this tree, and we can find Captain Toad. He's exhausted because some monkey took the star, and if we just keep moving forward, we see on top of the mountain is that same blue monkey in sunglasses. Now he seems pretty surprised we made it this far and congratulates us for matching his physical prowess. As a reward, he gives us this star, and he's probably thinking to himself,
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary!
"Look at that, I see you brought back some kind of floaty souvenir? It's a cloud flower. Wow, there sure is some weird stuff out there, huh?" Now we have enough stars to make it to Bowser Jr.'s fiery Flotilla. That's pretty cool. Gobblegut's aching belly. We land on the ship before entering Bowser Jr.'s castle. There are some armored Goombas blocking our path, letting us know that this is the big leagues now. There's a comet medal on top of this first thwomp, And there's a hidden one-up way at the top of that castle, but I'll be honest with you guys, I've got no idea how to get up there. If any of you guys know, please let me know, because I've tried a few times and I couldn't do it myself. We open the castle gates and make our way forward onto this lava planet. There's another TV here showing us how to do a jump and spin, as if we haven't made it through the entirety of World 1 already. Then we get this extra life mushroom before making our way to the boss arena. And here comes Bowser Jr. himself. Ha ha ha, made it this far, huh? I won't need my dad's help to finish you off. I've got a big surprise for you. Oh, gobble gut. Dinner's on. Oh, but don't forget to protect your bellyache bulges. And he flies away while this giant dragon shows up. Scars on his face and the craziness in his eyes. Circling the planet before beginning the hunt. This massive dragon will fly around in pursuit of Mario, hunting him and trying to eat him. And whenever we hear that train whistle sound effect, it means he's about to do a charge slam attack onto the ground, going through the entire planet. His bellyache bulges will momentarily get stuck as they try to go through the ground, leaving him vulnerable. After breaking 3 of them, he'll get even more mad, making it harder to hit the last few. But as long as you're paying attention, he honestly shouldn't be too much trouble. After we break the last one, he starts spazzing out and glowing before completely exploding. And out comes our first Grand Star. Very majestic. Now this end of level song is the same as any normal star, but when we grab it, the Grand Star has its own unique symphony, showing us the true power it holds. Now as we fly back to Starship Mario with the Grand Star we've collected, let's just reflect on the stars we've collected so far. Easily the bottom of the barrel, we've got the Great Crate Incinerator from Rightside Galaxy. I mean, I talked about it not 10 minutes ago and I bet you already forgot about it. Bottom of C tier, I'm thinking Spin Dig Galaxy's Silver Stars Down Deep. Dig mechanic is not used in as interesting ways as the first one, and I've always felt that collecting 5 small pieces is not as rewarding as all the effort to get one very important piece at the end. Next is Fluffy Bluff Galaxy's Every Planet Has a Price. The subplanet in this level is not that interesting to climb up, but I mean it gets points for being the first unlockable star using a Luma within the galaxy itself. And I'll be honest, Fluffy Bluff Galaxy's intro aesthetic really helps lift this level up too. Next, Sky Station Galaxy's Storming the Sky Fleet, a good use of the intro galaxy, but it feels kind of disjointed with the first part not really connecting well to the Starfleet itself. Then we've got Rightside Galaxy's Breaking the Laws of Gravity, a good way to introduce us to the gravity mechanic, but does not really reach the full potential as other gravity levels, but it's still a lot of fun. Then top of C tier is Sky Station Galaxy's Pee-wee Piranha's Temper Tantrum. A great intro level, a fantastic intro boss, and a great way to teach the player about all the essential mechanics without going too far, all at once. Bottom of B tier is Yoshi Star Galaxy's Spiny Control. A really fun use of Yoshi with the spine turtles, and also a fun boss battle at the end, but it's not as memorable as the first level, which hurts it a little bit. Next, Bowser Jr.'s Fiery Flotilla. A fun boss battle with not much of an intro in terms of platforming. It's not nearly as grandiose as other castles we'll see later, so in that regard it always keeps me wanting more. I always get to the boss arena and I'm like, oh, that's it? Spin Dig Galaxy's Dig-a-Legs Planet, a great use of the drill power-up, an enticing skybox atmosphere, and of course, the Toad Brigade. All topped with a boss battle that's way more satisfying to beat than straight up fun, but easy top of B tier. Bottom of A tier is Flip Swap Galaxy, a pure fun platforming challenge that puts a twist on the mechanic that players up until this point would have depended on. It's also the first secret galaxy opened up from the world map. Great level, no notes. Top of A tier is Yoshi Star Galaxy's Saddle Up with Yoshi. Such a memorable level. From the intro to the music, the volcano scaling to the top of the mountain and getting to the top of the archaeology site, so much fun. And finally, in S tier, is Fluffy Bluff Galaxy's Search for the Toad Brigade Captain. This level captures that gaming feel with such a fun level design. The world is just so fun to run around in, and the cloud power-up is just the best. It's our first certified Malmadius masterpiece. Anyway, by now we've made it back to Starship Mario with the Grand Star. A portal to the next world opened up. Wow, look at that, you did it. You brought back a Grand Star. That's great, now we can use the power of the Grand Star to travel to another world. We're one step closer to retrieving your special one, buddy. Through space and time to an unknown world we go. I'm jiggling just thinking about it. Ready, Captain? I hope you guys are all jiggling as much as I am, because here we go to the next world. Thank you guys again so much for watching. This is part 2 of a very long retrospective. Check out the other parts on screen now and subscribe for more. We've run out of time for today, so I want to apologize again to Grian. We'll try to have him on next time. But anyway, I'm the Malmadius, and as always, have a great day and make it a great day for someone else. Take care, everybody.